For information about investing in character-led companies, please visit www.rocinvestments.com and join the growing number of investors choosing to make character a priority when investing their money.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Return on Character podcast with me, your host, Dan Cooper, founder and CEO of Rock Investments, an investment strategy that invests in character-led companies in public markets. Very happy to have Ian with us today. I'm not gonna try to even give this guest a proper introduction because he's had such a unique background and lived such a unique life that I'm going to leave it to him to do so. But welcome to the Return on Character podcast, and thanks for making the time.
You bet, Dan. Thanks for having me.
As a way of kind of level setting what you're doing today, and then we'll go backwards. Tell me about what you're up to today, and then how you kind of were able to, how your life led to this point. As you sit today and what you're working on.
So that's the one all-encompassing question. So I'll do the cliff notes.
I'd also start with where you grew up, because that's pretty unique. And then other places, and then you went on to live in a lot of different spots around the world.
I'll take that first one and work, right back into it somehow. So,
cool.
So these days, what is occupying, I'd say 20 out of 24 hours in a day, is working on Sendy. So Sendy is, an amazing company. So happy to be a part of it, but it's an online marketplace for outdoor sports equipment. So it's buy, sell, or rent. And it's very specifically focused and tailored to adventure sports, the outdoor recreation industry. So skis, boards, kayaks, loved and grown up loving, and created incredible friendships through these adventures and sports. And so, just privileged and, happy to be able to work in a place, that really aligns with everything that I love and I'm about. And, so we have Sendy.io is the full web platform. We have it optimized for both mobile and for desktop. And then we have apps in both app stores. So, Android and Apple App Store. So, really the apps, I'm pretty proud of them. They're getting better every single week. A lot of that's based on user feedback, which is, just incredible to have so many people giving us suggestions and ideas and just so much engagement. But I think, if anyone wants to check it out, really downloading the app on the App Store, Sendy, Sendy. We're proud of what we built, and it keeps getting better. So
it's a beautiful website, and you get on there and you kind of think, oh my gosh, I could do that. Yeah, I can get on that surfboard, surf that tube, just like that guy.
Good.
I just got to rent the board, and everything's going to work out. I think it's awesome. I think it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. Well, a lot of what we do is intended to be aspirational. And so one of my marketing and branding is something that I didn't specifically choose to focus on it, but as being a CEO of multiple companies and building different things, there's so many tasks and not all of them are fun. And I feel like the marketing and the branding is something that always kind of excites. I really feel like, good marketing and brand identity done well should leave you feeling better. And it's one of those things where people say, nobody will remember what you said. They'll remember how you made them feel. Right. And I love that quote. And I think it has a lot to do, or it applies really well to a brand identity or a marketing strategy. And so for us, we just have the most fun content that you could ever work on. It's just all these incredible sports with amazing, athletes that we've partnered with. So we get to cut ads and commercials from red cam footage in the backcountry of Alaska. And like, it's definitely one of the best parts of my job. So. People have had this as an idea, and really it's like there's that whole component of like idea versus execution, and there's just a lot of pieces in between those two things. But as an idea, it's probably about 2.5 years ago that Travis and I really started talking. And I were in Hawaii surfing. We spent a week together, just with our families out on the beach, and ended up just like talking. And once the idea started going, it was like unstoppable. Where just like, oh, we could do that, and we should add this, and so really like just kind of came. 2022 is when we started hardcore development. That's with the team in Ukraine, and had most of the initial pieces of the team come together. January of 2022, we built it incredibly fast, I think, and we launched it in November of 2022. So almost 10 months. And
so you could technically say you built it during a wartime with your team in Ukraine. I mean,
100%. Yeah.
How did that affect them over there?
One thing that was trying to solve problems in the world and make things happen. It's a good story. But as they got into it, they started finding out the real story, which is, we had engaged a development team in Ukraine prior to the war starting. That wasn't on our radar. I don't think anyone really saw that coming. We definitely didn't. And we're on Zoom calls, like, sometimes twice a day with the team over in Ukraine. And, I meet their wives on Zoom and, see their lives, and you just become friends. On the phone with Vlad, who's our lead project manager, and he lives in Kyiv. And I was like, hey, Vlad, you should kind of get things ready. Like, I don't know what's going on. Hours straight, ended up sleeping in his car, like on the side of the road with his wife, like in Western Ukraine in Lviv, because they were trying to cross the border into Poland. And I called him. At this point, it was probably right? And that this was like happening quickly. So I called him, and he's like, Ian, it's too much traffic. I just need to sleep for a few hours. And I was like, okay. And sure enough, like 3 hours later, they stopped all men from leaving the country. So Vlad and his whole team have been in Ukraine the entire time. I flew over there last November to bring a Starlink. The craziest thing is that they didn't miss one single deadline, not one day late on one single thing. They were texting me, telling me that, hey, we're going to be a couple of days late on this. And it's like literally because there's like rocket strikes and involved with this forever. We seriously, this kind of thing like brings people closer.
And working and which is self-focused leadership, literally imposing its will.
And it was just like literally.
Full time. Okay. You've claimed it. All right.
Well, we've got 7 people, 40 to 50 hours a week in Ukraine. And so full time with us, and they have been for father's Brazilian, American mother from Boston, like Boston Irish. And born in Logan, Utah, and then moved to East Africa when I was 2 years old. And I was pretty much, for the most part, there. I lived in Nairobi, which is a big city, right? There's a lot going on. And I think it was, in many ways, it was a really dynamic way to grow up. And I think in some ways, like as a kid, I didn't even fully recognize kids of diplomats, of Medicine Sans Frontières, United Nations, UNEP, like a lot of that type of work going on in East Africa. So that was, mostly my friends were children of parents who were working internationally in international development or conservation.
Right. Which makes a really interesting network. So then where did you go from Africa?
Scale conservation projects, worked for UC Davis, studied abroad most of the time, studied in Brazil, Peru, Spain. And then when I was 21, started my first company, I guess. It just kind of happened. But making balsa wood surfboards. It was cool. It was for being as young as I was and as into surfing as I was, like we kind of have, obviously that was a very idealistic age. And so you're building it. And so we built a factory, small factory, 18 employees, on the south coast of Ecuador, where it's like a desert. It's really dry. And we would bring balsa out from the more tropical regions of Ecuador, dry them out in kilns, and then basically build blanks and shape boards. And so between boards and blanks, for other shapers, we do between 300 and 500 a year. And I pretty much ran